Eux, c'est Leonardo DiCaprio et Lily Gladstone, les deux stars de Killers of the Flower Moon, le dernier film de Martin Scorsese sorti en salle il y a quelques semaines. On a eu la chance de pouvoir discuter un peu avec eux, du coup on leur a posé 4 questions. Pourquoi c'est une histoire aussi importante pour vous?
Native Americans, we have a sort of a horrific past in the way we've told their stories. But we just felt privileged to be able to tell this story and wanted to do our best to bring as much truth as we possibly could.
Told me you was going with Matt Williams for a time.
You talk too much.
I've never seen sort of Marty more obsessed as a historian, talking to the Osage community about wanting to sort of extract and pull out the truth of a story that they've sort of not suppressed but remained quiet about for the last 100 years. And it was a great honor for us to be able to step into that shoes. I hope we did it justice. We tried our absolute best. I know we were obsessed with it.
Est-ce que le succès du film vous donne de l'espoir pour l'avenir du cinéma?
We still have a long, long way to go, but the fact that films like this are getting financed, I mean, somebody who's had a production company who's tried to tell stories that are somewhat outside of the box or not deemed as commercial or a dark part of our past, the fact that films are getting made on to this magnitude nowadays is very encouraging. I could show you, 20 different scripts that have been laying around at my production company collecting dust because nobody has wanted to tell these stories. And here we are at this day and age, and people are taking more and more chances because I think there's a hunger from the public for truth telling. Mm-hmm. And there's an audience now. Our world has changed and we're in different times, and people are, they have a real interest in telling the truth now, which is a great thing.
Qu'est-ce qui fait que cette histoire est aussi universelle?
It's a global story that any place that is resource rich is also drenched in blood. I think there are a lot of people who are the survivors of the legacies of such things. And one thing that I feel is incredibly universal, whether or not you come from a culture that's patriarchal, matriarchal, egalitarian, women are kind of the heartbeat of society. And we're oftentimes, especially in a film like this, the ones that are, kind of peripheral. Molly, in a lot of ways, I've heard it several times or read it several times that, and it's the way that I felt looking at early photos of her. She's got this sort of Mona Lisa quality. I think whatever you're feeling, you can read in her expression. So there is just in her, maybe in some way that I inhabit a frame, there is a universality. When I watched it for the first time, even though I played Molly, I was watching Molly, and I felt so much love and protectiveness over her. So I feel like, in a way, she's maybe what makes this universal to a lot of audiences.
Mm.
Comparé à ses anciens films, comment était Martin Scorsese sur ce tournage-là?
I've worked with him on a multitude of different narratives, whether it be Wolf of Wall Street to Shutter Island or this film. And in a lot of ways, he inhabits the story and it affects his mood and how he is day to day. I mean, for example, Wolf of Wall Street, I've never seen him have as much fun. This film, I have never seen him more obsessed. There was one moment where I looked at him and he said, "This story is in my bones. It's a part of me." He locked himself in his home in Oklahoma for 6-7 months and became absolutely obsessed with telling this story the right way, because I know he felt a tremendous responsibility. After reading the book, after meeting the Osage community, he was completely immersed in telling this story the right way, and it affects him day to day. And I saw it on this movie more so than anything we've ever done. And I know he's incredibly proud of it, as am I, as we all are.
Konbini!